The automotive industry is obsessed with change. Every year brings new technology, new designs, new promises about the future. So why are some of the most respected vehicles on earth almost the same cars they've always been? The Toyota Land Cruiser 70, the Mercedes G-Class, the Porsche 911. Three automotive icons that ignored one of the industry's biggest rules: change or die. And somehow, they survived. Not only survived, they became legends. Hello there, enthusiasts. Vance here. In my last video, we looked at cars trying to reinvent themselves: the Jaguar, the Ferrari Luce, the Audi Type 52. Machines reaching toward a future that doesn't exist yet. But these cars chose a different strategy entirely. While the rest of the industry sprinted toward tomorrow, they dug their heels into yesterday. And against all logic, it worked. Today, we are looking at the rebels, the machines that stared directly at an industry addicted to reinvention and calmly replied, "No thanks, we are good." At first glance, this makes absolutely no sense. Most industries reward constant evolution. Every year, something must be bigger, faster, smarter, more efficient, more connected, more futuristic. Automakers are especially guilty. Every generation arrives accompanied by a marketing campaign that sounds suspiciously like it was written after 3 espressos and a TED talk. The pressure to innovate never stops. Yet, scattered across deserts, mountains, farms, mines, construction sites, and city streets, are vehicles that seem strangely immune to all of it. Machines that evolved just enough to survive, but never enough to lose themselves. And that distinction matters, because evolution and reinvention are not the same thing. One preserves identity, the other risks replacing it. Today's cars survived because their manufacturers understood something surprisingly rare. Sometimes the greatest innovation is knowing what not to change. If automotive stubbornness had a mascot, it will probably be the Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series. The Land Cruiser wasn't designed to impress anyone. It wasn't built for social media. Nobody at Toyota sat down and said, "You know what this truck needs? Mood lighting." Instead, it was built around a far simpler mission: go there, come back, repeat. Sounds easy, until there becomes a mountain village, a mine, a construction site, a desert crossing, or a road so rough it makes Google Maps look optimistic. Across huge parts of Africa, Australia, South America, and the Middle East, the Land Cruiser became less of a vehicle and more of a survival tool. People trusted it because it was predictable, and predictability is criminally underrated. Human beings love excitement right up until they are stranded 300 kilometers from civilization. Then suddenly, reliability becomes very attractive. The genius of the 70 series wasn't that Toyota refused to improve it. Far from it. The engines evolved, safety improved, technology advanced, but Toyota protected the mission. Every update answered one question: will this help it do its job better? Not, will this look good in a brochure? There's a difference. Many vehicles chase trends. The Land Cruiser chased durability, and eventually, durability became the trend. The result was something unusual: a vehicle respected almost everywhere on earth, not because it was revolutionary, but because it wasn't. Because while everyone was busy reinventing the wheel, Toyota was making sure theirs didn't fall off. The Land Cruiser survived because it was useful. Our next car survived because it became something much strange: an icon. The Mercedes G-Class should not exist, at least not in the form we know today. It began life as a military vehicle, a tool, a machine designed for difficult terrain and difficult jobs. Luxury wasn't the point. Status wasn't the point. The point was capability. Then something unexpected happened. People fell in love with the box. For decades, automotive designers have worshipped aerodynamics: rounded edges, smooth curves, wind tunnel optimization. The G-Class looked at all of that science and said, "Rectangle." And somehow, it worked. The G-Class has all the aerodynamic elegance of a refrigerator traveling at highway speeds. Yet people adored it. Why? Identity. You could recognize it instantly. from a distance, at night, in a parking lot, half asleep, the silhouette became sacred, and Mercedes learned an important lesson. Once something becomes iconic, changing it becomes dangerous. Because people aren't just buying transportation, they are buying meaning. The G Class wasn't merely a vehicle anymore, it was a symbol. Over time, it transformed from military workhorse into luxury statement. Celebrities bought them, executives bought them, enthusiasts bought them. People who will never drive across a desert bought them. Yet, through all those transformations, Mercedes understood something. The shape had become bigger than the vehicle itself. So, while technology advanced beneath the surface, the exterior remained unmistakably familiar. This wasn't resistance to progress, it was respect for identity. And nowhere is that more obvious than in our final car, the machine that turned stubbornness into an engineering discipline. The Porsche 911 may be the most successful act of automotive stubbornness ever recorded, because for decades, engineers kept pointing to the same problem. The engine was in the wrong place. Most performance cars place their engines between the axles or ahead of the driver. Porsche put theirs behind the rear axle, which is fantastic for traction, slightly less fantastic when physics decides to get involved. Push an early 911 too hard, and the car could become a very educational experience. Some of the more powerful variants developed a fearsome reputation. Enthusiasts eventually gave them a nickname, the Widowmaker, a title that tends to generate concern during insurance conversations. The problem wasn't power, the problem was balance. The rear engine layout created handling characteristics that demanded skill and respect. Most manufacturers would have interpreted this as a sign, a clue, a cosmic hint suggesting it might be time to wrap it up. Porsche chose a different path. They doubled down. Rather than abandoning the layout, they spent decades mastering it. Generation after generation, better suspension, better tires, better aerodynamics, better chassis engineering, more control, more confidence, more speed. It wasn't let's replace the formula, it was let's understand it better. And that's what makes the 911 fascinating. It didn't succeed because its flaws disappeared. It succeeded because Porsche became extraordinarily good at managing them. By conventional logic, the rear engine sports car should have become a historical footnote. Instead, it became one of the most successful performance cars ever made. The automotive equivalent of solving the same impossible puzzle for 60 years, until everyone else reluctantly admitted, fine, maybe you're onto something. Today, the 911 remains instantly recognizable, not frozen in time, refined through time. And that distinction matters because refinement is often harder than reinvention. Anyone can erase a drawing and start again. It takes discipline to improve something without losing its soul. The Toyota Land Cruiser 70, the Mercedes G-Class, the Porsche 911. Three very different vehicles, three very different stories, yet all arrived at the same conclusion. Change is powerful, but identity is priceless. The Land Cruiser survived because it remained useful. The G-Class survived because it became iconic. The 911 survived because Porsche transformed a weakness into a defining characteristic. Different paths, same destination. In a world obsessed with disruption, these cars remind us of something we've largely forgotten. Not everything needs reinvention. Not every tradition deserves preservation. Not every innovation deserves adoption. Wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Last time, we looked at cars trying to reinvent themselves. Today, we looked at cars that refused. And perhaps the most remarkable thing isn't that they survived, it's that after all these years, the rest of the industry is still trying to figure out how. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It's a lot like the Porsche 911. Mostly the same button it's always been, still somehow effective. And if you don't subscribe, that's okay. Unlike an early 930 Turbo, I won't suddenly try to kill you for making a bad decision. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.